Hey everyone, World Film Geek here, and today I'm interviewing Maya Stojan, the versatile actress from Switzerland who has been in TV and films such as Flash Out and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Her latest film, 3 Day Weekend, is coming to Amazon Prime on October the 8th. Enjoy the interview. How you doing?
Hi, darling. Good. Are you ready for Maya?
I'm ready.
I've got her on the phone. All right. I'm going on mute, so I'm patching you guys through.
All right.
Maya? Maya, yeah. Hi, John, you're on with Albert. Hi, Albert.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm I'm good, Maya. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much. Happy Monday.
Yes, that's what. Happy Monday, indeed. So, 3 Day Weekend. I finally watched it this morning, and I was totally shocked with the movie, and I mean that in a good way because it came out so good. I felt it had this Rashomon like theme to it, and the ending just blew my mind.
Oh, well, good, good, good. I saw it once a long time ago, sort of like the unedited, fully edited version. So I myself need to rewatch the movie and yeah, just go through the whole journey again.
That's awesome. So, what inspired you to take on the role of Shan?
I'm so sorry. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to hear you.
It's okay. My first question is, what inspired you to take on the role of Shannon?
Oh, well, it was actually a really interesting process. I was actually shooting another movie when they reached out to me, and I remember being um, pretty exhausted when I went to the room to audition. And it wasn't your typical audition because, as you know, there's no dialogue. But I met with Megan, who is the producer, and Wyatt, the director, and the casting office, and a couple other people. And I just fell in love with the people that were working on the project. They were so just thinking like such creative people, and they had a different vision than most. And it was just it just felt really different, and I was so willing to take a chance and do something a little bit more mysterious and obscure. And I liked the idea of having it be such a puzzle. So yeah, I think that's what inspired me to take on the role, was just something that was so unheard of. I haven't, really watched a movie with zero dialogue. I think there was that one movie, the French movie, The Artist, that was no dialogue. I don't know if you remember that won an Oscar. So I just remember that one. But other than that, it's pretty unheard of to have a full-length feature with no dialogue.
Yeah, and that's the one interesting thing I found, that she was hearing impaired, and we don't know what that was a result of. Was she born with it? We don't know. But I found that interesting that you got to do that with no dialogue. And as a matter of fact, like a lot of the movie, and a lot of the movie didn't have much dialogue in it at all. That I noticed, at least from the first half point of view.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
so to prepare, did you learn sign language, or were you already an expert in it?
So, interestingly enough, in college, I played a deaf girl. So, I remembered studying sign language, but it's like any language. If you don't practice it, then, it's so easy to forget. But I find sign language to be such a beautiful, it's almost an art form, and it's just really incredible. And so I sort of dove into it. I didn't have to use that much of it. So, but just learning the behavior and all of that was really interesting. And, that always makes our work very, very awesome as an actor, because, you want a challenge. You want something that's different from yourself.
That's awesome. Well, you got to work with Morgan Krantz, and I'm a huge fan of Nathan Phillips, not just from Snakes on a Plane, but some of the other stuff he's done, and Scott McDonald. What was it like working with them on the set?
It was great. I mean, we were in the middle of nowhere for about a month, in the middle of Minnesota in a forest, and we were just in little cabanas, and the closest restaurant even was, I think, an hour away or an hour and a half away. So
Wow.
it was a really cool experience to just be so secluded from the rest of the world, and it was easier in a sense to really dive into our characters, but we all got along great, and yeah, it was really cool to work with such talented people. It always makes your job so much easier, I think, when you work with people that have experience and know what they're doing. And
Yeah,
that was really cool.
and I think it helps if you're out there and it's included and things didn't go well. I mean, that could have been just disastrous, but it seemed like the chemistry was there, and the chemistry was just there from both sides of the spectrum. You know, that's the one thing I really liked about the film. You get Ben's point of view in the first half, and then you got the kidnappers in the second half. So that's why I said it felt like that Rashomon theme where, you know, you get the different sides of the story, the same events, and then that ending was just unbelievable. The way when everything was revealed, I'm not spoiling it, but my mouth just literally almost literally dropped to the floor, and I think that's what helped.
Amazing.
I think that's what helped make this film like really good, and I think people definitely would need to see this.
That's awesome to hear. You know, as we were shooting it, there's just so many different intricate moments and pieces of puzzles that even us as actors have to really keep track of the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so many times I had to ask Wyatt, the director, wait, where are we in the movie? Like, what is happening? What do I know? What do I not know? Just because, yes, the timeline was so essential to the movie in terms of just what is revealed, what is unrevealed, and I mean, you can imagine we didn't shoot it in order, so it was always about figuring out where we were in the script, but it was awesome, and yes, I'm excited to rewatch it and you know, find out how the reveal is revealed.
Yeah. So during shooting, what would you say was probably, if any, was the most difficult thing about shooting out there in the middle of nowhere?
I would say one day that I remember is just getting in the freezing cold water in Minnesota. It was I think fall when we shot it, and the water was just freezing. So I just remember being super cold, maybe colder than I've ever been. But you know, I think also a challenging part was that I wore the. It was challenging and not challenging because I guess that doesn't really affect the script. But I was wearing the same outfit with the same clothes every single day for a month.
Oh wow!
It's shot in the same, you know, weekend, and I don't want to reveal anything, but yeah. So I every day wore the same outfit, looked ragged.
Oh my gosh!
And yeah, so that was pretty interesting.
That totally reminds me of Gunnar Hansen when he did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre playing Leatherface. He said in interviews, "I've wore that same outfit for like a month throughout the whole shoot." And granted, I mean, you were in like cold water, like fall weather, but he was in like 100-degree weather wearing that suit and the mask. So I could just imagine like the insanity of doing that.
Absolutely, yes. So, and you're just so excited to just wear different clothes by the end of it. So, and I mean, luckily it was a cute outfit, but there were some days where I was really cold, and other days where I was really hot because the weather was still, you know, changing. I think it was beginning of fall, but yeah. So I would say that was
the hardest part. So I gotta say, you have an excellent versatile background. I mean, I've even seen you in Flash Out. That's like still one of a movie that I liked from a couple of years back. And I've seen you on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You have this amazing background in television and film. And now with film production and TV production coming back, from all the chaos that happened earlier this year, are there any new projects that you're working on that you can talk about?
Well, there's this one movie that should be coming out soon. It's called Senior Moment. So we're still waiting to see where that will take place. They're looking at a bunch of different avenues, but it's a really cool rom-com with William Shatner, Jamie Smart, and Christopher Lloyd. So I'm really excited about that. And now that things are opening back up, I have this project called The Promise that I'll be shooting next year in 2021, and it's a World War II movie, which I'm super excited and playing one of the leads.
Oh wow! See what I mean? You're versatile. You can do anything. And I was like, you know,
Thank you.
you're one of those actresses who are like, they don't have to. You're like one of those actors who don't have to stick to one genre. You do everything. I've noticed it, and no matter what role you take, it seems like you can just pull it off. Especially with this movie, 3-Day Weekend, you really nailed it in this one, hands down.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And that means a lot, and actually, makes me look back at my career, and I do feel very blessed that I didn't just play one type. I could have easily just been always playing the same sort of either,
Yeah,
villain or rom-com chick or
eye candy type.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's fun to be versatile in that sense. So I feel very grateful.
Yeah, I think more people can follow that example. Should follow that example. Not just stick to one thing. Just try something different. Try a different type of rollout,
Sure.
and I think it will work.
For sure.
So 3-Day Weekend. Yeah, exactly. So 3-Day Weekend is coming October 8th on Amazon Prime, and those who love anything Rashomon-like with different views of point of views from the stories and have a shocking finale, they're going to want to see this one for sure. And especially your performance in it is just brilliant, and I am so glad that I got to see this, and I'm even more honored that I got to talk to you about it today.
Thank you so much, Albert. It's an honor for me to get to chat with you and talk 3-Day Weekend, and I'm super excited for your followers to watch it, and I can't wait to get more feedback from others.
All right. Well, I hope everything goes well. I hope you stay safe, and I hope the movie does get recognized. It needs to be. And thank you again, Maya, for taking the time to talk about the movie.
Thank you so much.